And just like that, lobby number 5 has begun to ensue. Everybody departing from the battle bus, but Monster, again, we have definitely seen a little bit of favoritism as far as how some of these early contested fights are panning out, but this one at Brutal Beachhead in particular, last lobby was one of the first circumstances where we saw a really heavy influence take place because of that third-party swing.
Yeah, Revised and Tahi here have a little bit of a advantage, if you will, as they've gotten the chest secured and then an upgraded one right behind that. So fights might be breaking out, but let's jump over to another side of the action here. The other side, I should say. Liam, who has the high ground. It all makes sense now. As you saw, they had success with a late rotate here. Liam and Noah have all advantage. Oh, not looking good for Mixon as he gets tagged up a few times. This is before they even get to really get situated here against Quanti and Jobco. Quanti just watching. Tactical pistol doesn't find much, but still great tags nonetheless.
The double tack pistol, though, could be problematic. Nuka-Cola, back-to-back Nuka-Colas as well, thanks to the chest find. And that'll be a nice boost. Quanti finally going to get some shield online. This 2 versus 2 up against Blaha and Mixon. They need to find closure ASAP because, again, that third-party potential we saw from the top of the hill, just a little bit east of Brawler's Battleground. Liam, Noah, trying to take control, swing the tides in their favor. But again, Quanti and Yapko, they are not willing to budge as far as departing from Research Rock just yet. They want at least one elimination before their ideal rotation can come into play. Just trying to scavenge whatever's left over at this point, because again, sometimes the materials and the overall resources available at this split here at Research Rock, it can be relatively thin and scattered.
I don't like the idea of Mixon and Blaha sticking around too long. They, if anything, should have learned their lesson from the last game with the late rotates from Noah and Liam. Not only that, they got shot before they even touched down this time around, so they should recognize that this Noah and Liam are very much waiting for them to take the fight against Jobco and Quanti here. And Jobco and Quanti, with no regards to any other factors here, are looking to press forward. Nitro comes out, repositions their way around. Both sides have shield and material to work with here, so this can go any way. Quanti's going to be the first to get damaged, though. Punishment comes in. Blaha with the side angle now, and a little misplay there as he runs out of ground to work with, but all in all here, danger still lurking above.
And finally, looks as though Liam and Noah are starting to try and close that distance a little bit from where they were perched on their hill, kind of recognizing the fact without scopes on that tactical assault rifle, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually confirm body tags from afar. So they've decided we're going to just join the fray directly. This could be really bad news, though, for Yapko. He's so isolated. Quanti is going to have to reunite with his teammates soon enough. Liam, but Yapko,
oh
he's got the heads up. He was expecting this. Liam instantly trying to bail Noah right next to him, but Yapko, he's got Noah a little bit pinned here. Quanti may even get an opportunity to finalize that knock onto Liam with how low he is, but instead, Yapko just trying to hold his own here. Doesn't want to forfeit too much ground. Doesn't want to allow an opportunity for Blaha and Mixon to look for a hard engage onto Quanti.
Funniest part about that is they were so silent, but you just, the door makes noise, right? It's just like, it's great. That's great. Mixon and Blaha, I like how they step up here, but I would have liked to see him press a little bit faster, given they had a chance. They had all awareness of Quanti being behind the wall there. Force him back. This is just a big old reset. No damage coming in, so they are losing time here. The zone's on the way as well. So it's going to be time to get on out. Liam and Noah long gone here. What's happening over here? Shadow. Vergo still on the fight. On the prowl right now. Up against Tahi and Revise. Revise jumps around. Great block by Vergo, who's just a tag away I'm seeing the downed status. Revice has got him here. Vergo ready, waits for him to come in and hits the shot. And on the other side, simultaneously, Shadow deletes Tahi as well. Just doesn't get better. Shadow and Vergo come out on top. They earn themselves a couple more points here. Very much needed as well.
Yeah, it's definitely been a tough day for some of these teams. Nerface and Sid. Again, the team contesting Hound and Mason West on the map here at Reclaim Villa, Sandy Strip Turf. Nerface, though, loses Sid. Recognizes it's all down to his lonesome. He's trying to scurry away wherever he can. Needs an opportunity to see if he can get this med kit off. See if he can pop his shield potion even. But Mason, Hound, they're just creeping up ever so steadily. Both of them, though, low enough that they think twice. They don't want to just blindly aggress. They want to confirm clean elimination onto Nerface, and sure enough, their patience has paid off. Sid, nowhere left to run. And Mason, Hound, while they have been temporarily victorious here on that west portion of their contested drop, still have to keep in mind the real threat that's lurking nearby. That's going to be Clicks and Veno. You can see those arrows just a little bit northeast. Trouble definitely brewing if Hound and Mason aren't careful and they're rotate out.
Take a look at Vino right here, looking in. He's got a team down low, boxed up right now. Probably just finish a fight. This is, of course, what Vino does best. Very wide spread coverage here, wherever it may be. Always wandering around, just looking for anything right now. What's more surprising after last week's victories is that they haven't picked one up yet today, so they might just be due for one.
Just ran through that flaming boost hoop, though, so it's clear that he definitely wants to see if he can find a better angle on some teams kind of littered throughout the area. Maybe get a couple more tags in tow. Yapko and Quanti, meanwhile, they've got Dorito and Yasir on the ropes here. And sure enough, Yapko, a couple of shots gonna seal the deal. That's one knock onto Yasir. Dorito can't even afford to take another couple ticks of Storm. He's just lurking in the water right now. Will pick up some heals left behind by Yasir, but will it be enough? Yapko, incredibly low. Trying to be careful how he's playing these walls. Quanti actually knocked in the process. It's bolts from afar. Third party just intervening. A small lifeline here for Dorito, and Dorito actually biting back. Bryce gonna get knocked in the process, but good recovery there out of bolts, and he will be able to get the revive off successfully. So ultimately, Bolts and Bryce prospering from that third-party engagement, but still got to be wary of Vert and Kylie just a little bit further up the hills of Mount Olympus.
Dangerous duel. Never know. You have such a skilled team's gonna land on you. Ritual right now, eyeing up inside the storm. Thermal scope fully set up right now. No one pops out the grand station just yet, but they know for a fact there's someone in there. There's actually 3 players in there, so 2 teams inside of the grand station. A little bit of a standoff, and actually marks the back of the grand station, saying, I think I know where they're at. I think I know where they're gonna at least exit out from. Likely looking to see if there's a reboot around here as well. So they're trying to position themselves all the way up to take full advantage of what's happening here. And yeah, look, get the spot, and he couldn't have called it better. Read him like a book, and this is just perfect now, as they have full advantage, so they know there's a solo left alive. Still have to be very careful, though. They're split up looking for one player, but they don't recognize there's actually 2 individuals. Ritual's exposed. Re is also exposed to the backside. And there goes the tags. That's from 1.
If anything, it's just going to call for a brief pause here as Re now leading the charge On to Doxy. And Doxy nowhere left to run. Already lost his duo earlier on. Only one player left standing out of the 3 that had started off here at Reckless Railways, and it's going to be Staxa Rooney just tucked away in a corner at the far end of the train station, hoping that Reed and Ritual don't encounter him. He's got the door wide open, utilizing some bandages just to keep his health in a decent spot, but Reed and Ritual, they're content to wait. And this is what Reed and Ritual have also done so well throughout the course of today, MDF. They have just fully bottlenecked all of these teams from the northeast side of the map as they start to make these rotates, pooling, because a lot of these zones just having been towards that southern southwest part of the map. Reed and Ritual, no, they just have full control of the flow on the lobby of those players. They are pretty much restricting all rotates by holding teams consistently at Reckless Railways. Staxa Rooney just going to be one more to add to the count as Ritual and Reed side by side yet again. So in sync with each other right now.
Love how Ritual played that straight aggression. Grab the wall, they push in with pure confidence and close the fight. Very much in shape right now, showing exactly why they're up at the top of the standings with a substantial lead, especially across all eliminations here. Meanwhile, in the bunker, also deep in the storm, just a little bit more eastern here. If Threats and Epic Whale still haven't quite found their footing. It's the team that, of course, recently have gotten together here, given the departure of Clix and Epic Whale. Unfortunately, not as much success right now for Epic Whale.
It's definitely been probably more quiet performances, especially when you look at the direct comparison to when it was Epic with Clix. But at the same time, even in the last season, Surge strategy and those mid-game rotations posed to be the biggest issue for Epic and Clix. So now Epic with Threats still landing at Lavish Lair. Again, just kind of having to go cross-country so consistently. I think that's a big part of the reason why we haven't necessarily seen them kind of at the top of the leaderboards, because it is difficult to make such a far rotate from that northern side of the map all the way down south. And you have to do it without compromising every single one of your material counts and resources along the way. And they don't have Slurp Cacti to rely on, unlike players in that southern side of the map. Free regeneration. Bucky Yokus, though, they love playing for Rift Island. They made it out of Grim Gates this time. G-Money Reciprocal fighting for their lives currently. A lot of brick getting thrown out at will here. But G-Money just catches Bucky slipping. Bucky thought he had control. At the same time, G-Money just reminding him nothing's ever really safe. Pre-established turf on this Rift Island. But now it's going to be Pump and Empen trying to pay them a visit, and Pump just deleted practically the moment that he rips in.
Gotta really respect G-Monster right now. It's a very, very clean performance we've seen so far from him, and he's continued to, you know, be one of the few players that have just caused upset after upset. Now finding Pump from Team Empen. Nitro comes out. That's going to negate the fall damage, and straight into the wood box they go. That's a mistake for Empen there. He knows it. They know it. Quick close and a finish there. That's going to push them up to 3 eliminations now. And pure refreshes across the board. Plenty of brick as well to go ahead and farm back here. That's going to put them right back in the game at cap material count. And I don't even think they actually got to secure the capture point in time. Teams land on them before they could actually secure it. So plenty more to retreat to. Meanwhile, Peterborough and Boyo pushing their way towards 200 points now with that elimination they just picked up.
It seems like G-Money and Reciprocal, more than anything, they could have maybe even been pausing actually capturing Rift Island because they wanted other teams to come and challenge them. They knew they had so many pre-existing builds already established. It was going to make fights all the easier, as well as giving them good angles onto the players rifting in, like what we saw happen to Pomp, just instantly smacked the moment that he came through that rift. And have to expect part of the reason why we're seeing a team like Impen and Pump head up towards the top of Rift Island in the first place. They were likely looking for some resources that they didn't have success with earlier on in this lobby. But Peterbot and Pollo, Bacon and Zooks, just getting absolutely doused in the process here. I don't think you could look for faster time to elimination than that.
It's pretty clean from Peterbot and Pollo here. It's not a team in sight either that's going to be stepping up to them. Jumping in with Kanata and Cooper now, who are on the move here. One position to the next, the zone's going to pop and reveal itself, and off they go, wasting no time here. I like this move here. I like this rotate. There's a team right above them, though. It's Veno. It's Clicks. Look, the immediate decision to go ahead and continue to dip low. Played into this indestructible low ground for the rotate here. Very smart. You're just seeing the Kanata experience come into full play here as he is leading Cooper into better and better situations here. And this is coming right off that last game that they really did need the win. They needed to, you know, put themselves in the conversation, put themselves on the leaderboard.
You got to keep in mind the Kanata, he's openly stated IGLing is everything. Decision making is where I'll provide the difference. He's very open about that fact in interviews and essentially looking to try and just outsmart his opponents. And yeah, like you already called, just an excellent display of experience, but still a little bit surprised to see some of the teams that have been struggling throughout the course of today, because when you factor in the way that some of these duos looked throughout round 3 of Opens, I mean, Bacon Zook's a primary example. Those guys had 4 victory royales from yesterday. And then here today, just having a tough time converting their mid game into a strong late game, but that is kind of just the nature and the differences, I think, of a set lobby experience. But still excited to see whether or not they bounce back in that final lobby. They're not the only ones looking to try and establish themselves, finish the day strong. Visuals Braids, another one of our teams that I think we saw glimpses of greatness from earlier on today. And it's just tough to always replicate that success.
See Braids and Visuals right now. 87 above the surge threshold. This is where the pressure starts to set in, especially if you're a team like them who's somewhat deep into the storm here, so they don't really have the advantage of being on the edge to take a box fight or find a rotating team. They will be at the mercy, likely, of others nearby. Meanwhile, Re and Ritual, somehow with 3 eliminations right now, are still below the damage threshold of where they want to be, but they have a team below them. It's Scented and Walkers. This would be the last option for them to go ahead and take here, especially positioned this far out on the edge of the zone. Other teams, if they took a fight here, will surely look to target these fresh builds once everything breaks out. They need to find tags yesterday, so there's problems starting on the horizon right now. Finally, for Re and Ritual, this is the worst we've seen in them.
Could always be worse, though. At the very least, Re and Ritual have a good idea of the general directions that players are located, but the situation becomes too pressed for time. They become too squeezed and don't want to expend much more of their resources. They might just look to take that battle with Walkers and Scented directly below them, but it seems as though that is that worst case scenario for these two. They want to find the tags from afar before having to risk it all on a singular box fight, especially one that isn't necessarily in their favor, because Scented and Walkers, I don't believe that they're actually below that surge threshold, but this is the patience that Reet and Ritual are waiting for Scented and Walkers to rotate first. A classic game of chicken. They got a few tags in, but will it be enough? No, still sitting 52 below the surge threshold. Reet gonna be forced to use his only medkit, singular shield potion left behind. Even for a team that's kind of been leading the way all day today, MDF. this might even be too tall a task to ask from them. And sure enough, draw some focal points from the rest of the lobby, and he's gonna get knocked for the count.
That's crazy. He was moving so well. I thought he was gonna actually make it there. Beautiful tag there for Ritual to keep him in the game right now. Look, this is it. It's all or nothing right now. Just Nitro Boost in hand. He's gonna have to go ahead and find something, make something out of nothing here. Could there be a cacti or some leftover heals here is the question at this point. Otherwise, it's going to be all she wrote here. The Storm, and there it is, picked up by Agers and Rise. Little delivery for the two. First place is down and out. Re and Ritual, though, have had such a run here. A performance and a half on display right now for the NA region. Arguably during a time, too, when we've never seen it more competitive, right? With how many additional top-tier European players we've seen just enter into the conversation as far as NA is concerned. So NA just couldn't be any better right now as far as overall competition is concerned. Braids and Visuals meets their match against Clix and Veno. And Vino will be saved now by Clix, who ends up hitting the mark.
Couldn't have asked for a better cleanup crew at this point. With the Nuka-Cola to expend as well. Veno, he's back into the action here now. Ample damage above the threshold as well, so Clix and Veno will have prime opportunity for Veno to regenerate all of his health and as much of his shield as possible. Could possibly even get back to full soon to come. We'll have to wait and see. Up on height, though.
Again.
G-Money and Reciprocal. They want to control, stay perched above the rest of the lobby. At the same time, though, you've got to make sure that you are suppressing at secondary height, lower layers, a couple of wood ramps. They might draw some undesirable attention with these wood builds. At the same time, though, no one's got an opportunity to look up just yet because the mid and low ground layer is just smothered with congestion.
I mean, I like that they're at least putting pressure down, though. This is like a learning experience or a learning moment for them compared to the last few times we've seen them up there. So, see what they can make with the high ground spot. Meanwhile, Veno Clix back in the game here. Looking healthy. Peterbot and Pollo running through their layers right now. It's going to be likely a 6th elimination they're trying to pick up right here. All metal being utilized, showing us that Peterbot must have been feeling the pressure of the fight that they were just in. Attacks come in from the distance now, and they will just have to reset here. But 6 elims for Peterbot and Pollo right now. They are rocking their way up the standings here. A big end game right now, and they'll surely be in the conversation to end this week in first place up against Re and Ritual. So the battle is on and the race to the top begins. Meanwhile, Rapid and Batman Booga from the Grim Gate contested, continuing to fight against adversary, find themselves in another end game. Look at this, the tags that they need right now coming together and picking up the loot as well. So an excellent opportunity for Rapid and Batman Booga.
Huge materials refresh on their hands currently. Batman Booga also going to get an opportunity here to rebuild his shield. Clix, Veno, kind of just watching their back, trying to be very wary of how they're tarping through this mid-ground. They know they've got company nearby. At the same time, likely aiming to try and make a play for height soon enough, and they're not the only ones. Bolts, Bryce, kind of gazing at the skies above. Pollo and Peterbot have worked their way up to the high ground, and this is the pressure that's going to prevent Clix and Veno from making their move just yet. Trashy and Muzz as well, working through that secondary height. So many players hoping for a chance to just maintain their position towards that front side of the mid-ground, but Pollo and Peterbot, they could go for a materials refresh soon enough. It's only a matter of time before one of them likely to drop. Maybe they look to do it in sync with each other and get a nice build refresh, but again, have to be careful. Rapid, Batman Booga still holding their own. Veno, Clix lurking around the corners. He's got Peterbot in his sights. Peterbot never had a chance to see it coming. Pollo, though, with the recovery, he's gonna crank up maintain for the time being. That is until Clicks chops him out. Clicks trying to take over alongside Vergo, but the Nuka-Cola might be the difference maker here, and sure enough, Clicks, he might have the high ground, but he doesn't have the health to hold it, and Peterbot, he's trying to see if he can work his way back up to the height, but Vergo's gonna spot him out. He was trying to reposition, instead gets taken down in the process. A 1-for-1 blow so far, as Pollo will be the lone victor here on the high ground. But that situation, that 2 versus 2 encounter, has definitely left him worse for wear.
That was an extremely high-level battle as well. Both sides recognizing danger above and below, keeping focus on one another. That is exactly what you expect. Mavino continues to put the pressure onto the high ground, making them forced essentially to answer his calls here, and he calls Pollo down, and he finds the elimination. In the end, it's Vergo and Clicks who win the final battle there, but it costs them everything, and that's just a fight for ego. And Vito in the end couldn't hide from a Minish there, but giving us a show to say the least here. And now Cam and Minish have a chance here to control high ground while the Titans above have done the damage onto one another here. Lobby starting to cut thin. Higher, solo by himself, Batman Booga in front of him, but Cam still cooking here, jumping down in time to find more and more eliminations. He's up to 8, he's by himself though, it's a 1v1. Where's the last player? He's looking for him, and he's unaware that Vergo is down at the bottom here, misses the first tag, and it's gonna come down to this last one here. They have no time to fail, and in the end, the shots come from below, and he gets pulled into the depths of the seas there.
And the only thing I can't help but wonder, MDF, is all of the med kits that lay just one box below where Cam had previously been situated. I don't know if it wasn't communicated, if he just felt like he didn't have a chance to be able to drop and actually secure them. But those were 4 med kits that were essentially getting passed around since Vergo was initially taken down by a Minish, and he dropped 3 on his own. But Vergo, he definitely came up clutch there at the end to win this victory royale here in lobby number 5.
Vergo and Shadow continue to play upsetter for team after team. We saw them have excellent early game battles. They do such a good job fighting at the starts, but this time they finally carry it into victory royale. With that, give us a second. I'm gonna go need to find my own shield pot for a second. I'm gonna take a quick break.